I'm proudly Kenyan. And guys, I'm super, super honored to be called a Kenyan. And you know why? It's because of the genes. These guys have just put our country on the map. And it is very sad that some of them have to die for this. But what they are portraying is the truth and the rot that is happening in our country. And it's unfortunate that they're not being listened to. And I just pray that we come to an amicable solution and to have our country back with sanity. And I really appreciate what they are doing. And for us people out here, guys, put on these bands. It means a lot. Like, I have met people I didn't know that are Kenyans, because we have many people around. You meet a black person, you can't just assume it's Kenyan, but most of them have our flag, and it's just a joy and a pleasure to just say sasa to somebody on the street, niaje, and then you just pick up from there. Anyway, it was just like a by the way, but it means a lot. Strong Kenya. Hi guys, how have you been? I've been good as well, and I thank God that I'm here and I've had this opportunity to just come back as a follow-up video on my previous video for immigration. I have received so many reactions and many people are reaching out. Actually, people who know me. I never knew that people who know me watch my videos, and for some reason they don't even follow me. But anyway, that's beside the point. These videos are here to benefit whoever they are supposed to benefit with, and I don't think it harms to just click a like or just share. It doesn't harm. It might help somebody somewhere. And yeah, I'm happy to be back, and I just want to address one or two things that probably people have been concerned about, and I just feel like most of my videos are for education and just to let you know in case you want to follow through the same journey that I'm going through and to know what you expect. Yeah. So basically, I don't know if I was bitching or I don't know if I was just highlighting, and probably it came out in a different way because personally, I'm not the kind of person who shares my personal life. But this is, I feel like what is happening to me is personal, but also can be shared, and it's affecting many people, and many people choose not to share what they're going through, especially Kenyans per se. People don't talk about their problems. Back home, people expect that you're making it in life or you've made it in life by being able to immigrate out of the country for some reason. Yeah. So I was talking about how life is hard out here, and actually, it might not be. I don't know how to put it, but basically, for me and for most of the people who I've talked to who immigrated on a temporary resident visas, they have had to go through some things because you don't get any government benefits. So everything is entirely on you, and that is why it feels like it's that hard. So people who came with permanent residence might not know what students go through, and at the same time, people who came as citizens, probably with attachment to their parents being citizens, or whichever way you came in, and you came in as a citizen or a permanent resident, you will not understand what temporary residents go through. And this, I have come to realize that it's just because of the expectations we have. When you expect a lot, and the disappointments are usually bigger. But when you come in not expecting anything, and that is why I came back with this follow-up video to just let people know that you're not coming to land in like a sea of everything that you need. It's gonna be hard and it's gonna be tough at the beginning, and that is what everybody says. Those who started as students, and by the time you stabilize, you'll have known you've had your ropes around the game, and you know what to do and what not to do, and what will help you. Okay, so basically, what makes it hard is the living standards. I'll talk about Kenya, where I've lived for my entire childhood and adult life, partly. The living standards back home, getting basic needs can be affordable. Let me say that it's not easy, but it's affordable. Okay, you always have options. You can decide to go to the market with your 200 shillings, and you might be able to do grocery for the whole week. 200 shillings is basically like $2. You'll be able to do your groceries for 2 weeks, which is not even the price of a bunch of kale, right? So with 200 shillings, I could be able to go to the market back home, get my tomatoes for 50 shillings. That is like when I'm buying, that is like in bulk, because I'll buy those are like 4 for 20 bob. and that will be like how many tomatoes? 10 tomatoes, right? And if I'm not doing a lot of frying and everything, and I'll be able to get like sweet potatoes, cassavas, like maize and beans for githeri, and my week can be made. Like onions are there inclusive. I'll be able to buy something for my own consumption, and I might not be able to go hungry. But as people say, don't always translate the amount of money from dollar to Kenyan shillings, but that can only be if you have, let me say, it's settled and you're able to get things and get government support. But if you're not yet there, you have to think, and that is what makes life a bit hard. Basic needs, that is food, is super expensive, or it's not easy to access if you do not have stable income, right? Shelter, it's damn expensive, and right now it's even not easy to get the shelter itself. You have to sign a lease agreement for a year, and you have to follow through with the lease agreement. And you're not going to just say, I'm leaving. Like, in Kenya, I can rent a house today, and next month I tell the owner that I'm leaving, or the agent that I'm leaving. It's okay. But here you'll have to pay in lieu of what you had already, they had expected you to pay for that period, or until they get a tenant, you'll have to pay, whether you're in or you're out. So you have to sign a lease agreement. For clothing, like I'm talking about basic needs, food, shelter, clothing. Clothing is easy to find if you're able to go to a thrift shop. Some of us don't have a problem getting clothes from a thrift shop, and that makes it easy. The other thing with clothes is seasonal, right? What you put on for winter, you cannot put on for summer, you cannot put on for spring, you cannot put on, like, for fall. Those are different clothing that you need to buy. But back home, I only need like sweater, I know, and I need t-shirts and whatever. Like, either official or whatever work clothes, I can have them for a whole year and there's no problem about that. But here, you have to change clothes with seasons. So that is also already an expense you're incurring, which is, clothing is not that expensive. It can be cheap, but if you have a family and you have children, they need also to have a change of clothes. It can as well be a cost you're incurring. Transport, car and personal transport is a necessity here. Not like home, you can decide to do Nduthi every day. Nduthi is boda boda, piki piki, motorcycle, let me say transport, and you'll be good, and you're able to afford it, and you'll get you from point A to point B on time, and you'll be good. When we moved here, we didn't have a car, and a family of 6, that was not easy, and it was during winter, it was fall going to winter. So with winter and snow, mobility is hard. Sometimes the school buses will not come through, or something, you will not have the public bus transport will be cancelled. You still have to go to work, right? So that is another issue. Now you need a car. This car, you're going to get it. These people say that when you're back home, you'll find out, people will tell you that cars are cheap here in the West, but they don't tell you how you're going to buy a $2,000 car. They say it's a $2,000 car. It is not. That is the down payment you're going to put in for that car, but you have to pay it monthly or bi-weekly. So there's some amount you're going to pay on top of that. And the other problem is the insurance. Back home, I could pay an insurance of, that's how much? $650. That will last me for the 2 cars that we owned. That is insurance for the whole year. I'm not worried about monthly insurance. And I'm paying, that is premium insurance I used to pay for our car. We used to pay for our cars, and that was enough for a whole year, and you're covered. You pay insurance not because you want to have an accident, but it's just good to get insured. So here we are paying insurance for this car, and we decided to pay, like, to buy the car, not to pay monthly, because the insurance will have gone higher. So this insurance we are paying, it's around $200 every month for the insurance. That means by the end of the year, I've paid $2,400 for the insurance of that car. Yeah, that is beside the amount of money I bought this car with. The fuel it is not easy, it is not cheap. So that's it. And also, if you have to rely on public transport, the busing timings are scheduled, so there's no way you will say, if you have to leave point A to point B, and the buses that pass there are specifically at this time, you have to work around that time. I remember when I started working, I used to work a distance of around 20 minutes drive to my workstation, but now I hate to take a bus, and I hate to use like 2 hours on the road. Not because there's traffic. Now there's no traffic, but it's just because of the bus timing. So from point A to point B, for me to connect to another bus, it used to take me around 1.5 hours, the connection, like just between, and it's not a long distance, yeah, and it's not a place I can walk either. And also I have to now walk to my workplace from that place. Now from where the bus is gonna drop me. So you can imagine during winter, and it's snowing everywhere, and sometimes it's snowing and raining at the same time. You have to do the connection. You can imagine now with the children, moving them around, going to church, being a believer, I can't miss church, and I want my kids to be in church in all Sunday and all church activities for them to participate. So for me, a car became an essential, and as a family-oriented person, a car is also essential. You can't leave it out of your budget. That is a cost that you have to incur, right? Going to healthcare. Guys, I have never been scared of being sick the way I have been scared when I landed in this country. From the testimonies of people who've gone to the emergency unit, you are sick and at the brink of dying, but you will stay there like for 24 hours. Unasemanga Kenyatta sijui nini. There's nothing like that. You will stay in that emergency unit. Utakaa hapo if you don't have like a private doctor. And also there, you have to be given an appointment date. You know, like there is no emergency here. But I thank God also, these small like things like malaria, diarrheal diseases, they are not much here. But I understand it's because of the weather, the tropics. We have all these bugs that grow every time because of our weather is good for everything to flourish, right? So this weather also makes it difficult for many things to flourish. So it is not easy for you to fall sick. But at the same time, you can get into an accident, God forbid. You can just have something that can bug you as a person, individual issue. Getting treatment is a problem, right? And leave alone that back home, you could just walk in a pharmacy and be able to be given something that will relieve your pain. It might not be conventional, but it will be able to relieve your pain and you'll be comfortable for a while as you sort your health care. You're going to get that relief. You will be told, you'll be asked, do you have a personal, I don't know how do they, family doctor? I don't have now because where I am, I'm still on the queue waiting to have a past family doctor. I have not yet acquired one. Okay. So you decide to use the app for you to get medication. And then the app itself, you'll have to wait until they call you back. It can take like, calling them and getting to them, it can take like a whole whooping 3 hours and you're sick. These ambulance services that people say, oh, you just call and cough and the ambulance services will be there. It is not what they say it is because you also have to pay. If you don't have personal insurance, which is not something cheap, you have to cough, like it costs you an arm and a leg. Not unless you're where you are employed can be able to facilitate that. It's also not easy. Okay. Childcare. Back home, I could get a watch 10K for a whole month. I'm sorted. That is $100. I'm sorted. Here every month for my 6-year-old to be in a daycare, I'm paying $500. A half a day when she comes from school, I'm paying $500 per month without government support. Those people who are having government support, they are okay. They can be able to manage, all right? But I am paying it off my pocket. So basically, everything you're getting is seeping out of your hands, like you're earning and running. We were joking the other day with somebody that you're running and working night and day, but you're not even sleeping in that house. You're working night and day for a house to pay rent, which is the highest you can pay. Like you can't find like a 3-bedroom house that is less than $2,200 in the place where I live, right? So less than $2,200. That is just house. You have not paid for electricity. You have not paid for water. Yes. So you can roughly calculate. It depends with your consumption also. So that is why I said it is not easy. Until when you're able to get in the government system and the government is able to support you, it is going not to be a walk in the park. So that is basically what I meant by the hardship that people go through. But with time, it's always said that it's going to get better. If your end result is for you to get in the government, like to stay here permanently, then you might be able to get the citizenship and process and whatever it is that that comes with it. It's not easy also, but being strategic and all that, it depends with your end product, what you want. If you just came for studies and then you go back home, those are the hardships you're expecting. And also if you picked a course or if you came as a student, you want to end up as a resident or permanent resident, yet you picked a course that does not support that, or you decided to go against the government protocols that allows you, like if you're a student, you need to work only 20 hours, and then probably you've been working more than 20 hours. And then the government decides that you have violated the government laws and you're not able to get residence or status in the country, then you'll have to go back home, unfortunately. And now if you have to stay by the rules of the government, working 20 hours as a student, with the breakdown of what I've told you, do you think it's going to be feasible for you to be able to support yourself in this country? Or you'll have to get support from back home. So that is food for thought for any person who's been getting to me and asking and really thinking that I'm making it hard. I'll just give you the life reality. You pick your choose and just run with it, customize it the way you want it. And I'm talking about those people who come here and they don't have any other family member around. It might be different for those who are coming with other family members. Being already settled here, it can be a walk in the park. It can be easy. It's just paying your fee and living your life. That's cool. But if you're starting from scratch, these are the hurdles you have to consider. And if you're coming with enough money, that is not a problem. Like basically the biggest issue is finances, right? Security is good. The road system is good. Many things are working. I'm not trying to say that things are not working. Many things are working. And the good thing is you will see where your taxes go, okay? And they are going to support those people who are the residents of that country. So you're coming in to bring in revenue for the country, all right? So just know that that is what is going to happen until you get your status in the country, all right? From me, it's bye. Bye, guys. See you in the next video.